watch how we want to form this candle. We are consolidating, or at least right now we are, between 9:30 and 9:45. I'll be watching to see if this is a Judas, so this tiny 5-minute gap, and then the buy side short term at the 9:10 high. If you're looking at that, so far it's holding the last down closing candle, and we're starting to close around that gap. Just watch how we hold it. And we respected that last down closing candle. So this is your CISD right here. If you watched the back to scene video from last Saturday. So watch this as your potential turtle soup, as you may retrace back into your premium. So look for kind of a fractal market maker buy model in here. Don't want to really long into the 5-minute gap. We're approaching the macro here, but depending on how we react, if we can close through and stay above the breaker, maybe tap into it again, then I'll use that to go long into the buy side. So really no entry yet. It's just kind of shooting up here. But you can see that's expected, right, with the efficient delivery. The 5-minute gap was the only thing that was a speed bump. So if we wanted to bounce, it would be right around here, maybe back into the bisi that I have outlined. And then you could look at maybe going long off this. So here's 952. Watch this to be used as inversion. That would be 1 PD array, 2 PD arrays would be this bisi down here. There's a slight tap. If you're looking for 20 points off of this, right up to there. Preferably, if you're placing a stop, I mean, this would be pretty a conservative stop down here. Past the inversion, past this gap, and then past the breaker as well. If you're really tight, you could use this. Held the bottom end of that gap, and we expand up. So when I set the stop, would be down here. If you're really conservative, drag it up to here, but would have gotten stopped out there. We came back, tapped into the breaker. Oops. Breaker right in there. So you can see 3 PD arrays, right? Close above the 1. Sorry, close above the 5. 1, 2, 3 would be this one. And we expand up. Still looking for this high and the buy side. Now, I don't know if we are going to reverse or retrace at 10. But pretty clean market maker buy model, yeah. Pretty clean, what? B classification. 940 reversal there. As we pop up, we're definitely going to reach this high. Pretty efficient delivery in here too, so expect speed. We may wick back into this tiny gap, but I don't expect a whole lot, maybe besides tiny wick. There's your buy side liquidity. So 958. If we want to retrace at 10, you have a gap here. So if we were to retrace, I would expect it to fill this gap. There's kind of a tiny imbalance over here that we didn't see full sell side through. Just because think of, here's the buy side by the way. There you go. I wouldn't say this is a part where you would partial in, because sometimes when you get that 940 reversal, you get an entry here, you can partial in at 10, right? But since we just met our buy side liquidity, we're already, I think, in premium of the dealing range. We're slightly below it. That being said, okay, so we just got a retracement here. See how we just came down right at 10, filled it. I don't know if you can use it as a pyramid though. I would not. So I spoke about it on Saturday. See how we held this CISD down here, right? When you're expecting a reversal, you want to watch that last down closing candle. Just because it's kind of, think of it like, if I were to draw a line right here, and you were to just look at stuff to the right of it, okay? So say you already knew we swept out liquidity. This, in this case, this candle here, you would want to see serve as an order block, right? If I went like this, and you didn't know anything on the left side of the chart, and we're just expanding, which after reversal, you typically want to see expansion, right? Then this last down closing candle should hold. So this is how you should think of it. If I just remove everything to the left of the reversal, that candle should hold, right? If I draw it like this, you can see. So we had this order block and this order block. See, we climbed up into this, and we tapped into and respect this last down closing candle that made the reversal. So that's your change in state of delivery. Okay. If we have a large candle at the top or bottom of your reversal, a lot of times it won't just respect the candle body like this. Like, see how it just came down to the candle body and basically held the entire thing. If you have a huge candle at the bottom, you want to drag out your entire Fibonacci on top of that bottom candle and look for a mean threshold. Okay, if we're holding mean threshold in a larger candle, then we should be fine, because on those lower time frames, that larger candle at the bottom is going to be split up into different ones. So in that case, it would be that last down closing candle, the lower time frames. But we didn't take out this high yet, so we could still actually take this one out. Tiny 15-minute gap right up in here. And there's your buy side. So we got the retracement at 10 there. So here's 10-10. I'll screenshot this, add it to macro review. But I mean, if you follow the PDF, follow that flow chart, let's do it right now actually. So 9:30, 9:45 consolidation. We got 9:45 stop run in CISD. So you're looking for a 950 low risk buy. Got the low risk buy right in the breaker, or you could use this for value gap as well. And most likely you see your 10 a.m. retracement or pyramid opportunity, and here is your buy side sweep. And right at 10 a.m. we get the retracement, and I think we still got 20 points off this retracement leg. Yep, 20 points off the retracement leg. And if we are overextended, which we don't know if we're overextended yet, but if we are overextended all the way up until 10:30, you see a turtle soup at the top. But in this case, we're retracing into premium, sweeping out internal range buy side liquidity. This almost looks to me like a market maker sell model. Original consolidation, first leg, second leg. And we're going to watch for potential some reversal up here. But most likely you would see consolidation up until 10:20-ish. Okay, so look for a consolidation, bouncing back and forth. Maybe a sweep of the highs at 10:20. Something like this. Judas up. Get break of structure. CISD, retrace. Something like this. Okay. Alright, so now watch. Last up closing candle would be here. This is your potential CISD. We don't know yet. We want to see it respected. We're also outside of time. Okay, we're waiting for 10:30. But we did actually close below here. We wicked up into the CISD. I just deleted it. But we wicked up into it. All the way right here, sweeping on the buy side one last time, and then we close right below. We also tapped into this tiny, tiny gap right here. You know, it's kind of expected in price. So I feel decently comfortable entering short here. I'll put the stop the CISD. We'll look for what, 20. So this is just a time-based kind of framework. Obviously, you could be looking for discount. So I guess you can move it down into here. Right on, I'll put it right on discount. But we're using time. We got the reversal at 10 o'clock. We're using this 10:30, 10:45 as expansion. We're expecting expansion, right? We didn't close above the gap, like I said, would nullify the trade. We see the propulsion block holding mean threshold. So everything's basically lining up. We don't have any imbalances until this gap here. So preferably you would see speed all the way until this gap. I don't know if we will get it, but that's preferred. Alright, so we didn't get the speed, we just wicked into it. If we take out the stop, that's fine. We're in consolidation here. I'm not going to move it or close it early. This is where I would just let it take my stop. And there's a stop out. So, all good. Because it's more about following your rules and staying properly risk managed than it is about profit and loss, because the profit and loss will come later. Focus more on the execution of trading than the P&L. If you trade your P&L, if you're always looking at your P&L, if you're looking at the P&L while the trade is going on instead of watching price action, you're missing the point, right? You're trying to trade the candles. You're not trading your profit and loss, because if you're properly executing and you have a good plan, that profit will come regardless. It's a direct kind of representation of, you know, your execution and your ability to follow rules.